Everyone knows how to start a business. Not everyone knows how to stay in business because nobody's talking about how to stay in business. What is the business of staying in business, right? Starting a business is easy. It can be very exciting. It can be very flashy. The friends, the families, the lunch, that first couple of sales here and there. Now, when it's all said and done, how do you stay in business? How do you keep the business of staying in business in business? Me, myself, I've been running my own creative art business out of my living room for 9 years. I've worked with brands like Uber, Facebook, HBO, Pepsi, and also been featured in magazines such as Bon Appetit magazine and Forbes magazine. I've done collaboration with Food and Wine magazine as well. By the way, my name is Haas, if you haven't met. I want to break down how to not just start a business, but actually to stay in business, right? So buckle up and let's deep dive. So first, yes, you want to start a business, and it is amazing to start a business. And I encourage you, especially if you're a creative person, to go ahead and come up and start your business. But starting your business should be something that you have to really, really like keep your mind focused. Like it requires you to be disciplined. You have to be determined, and you also have to be very consistent when it comes to starting your business and keeping it in business. So what do we do first? How do you start a business, your small creative art business, or any type of business, and how do you stay in business? As far as creative artists, how do you go by? We're going to decide whether you want to sell a canvas or you want to just go straight to product and merch. So, like, what do you pick? How do you decide, and which way do you go? Do you go left or you go right? Right? And my game is you have to keep it imperfect. Keeping it imperfect is you starting with the mentality of minimum viable products, going MVP. Now, at this point, you don't know what product is going to work for you, and you don't know what's not going to work for you. So at this point, we're just going all in, right? This is where you come up with the whole lunch, the whole invitation of friends and families and people you know, reach out to people, text, email, and all of that, social media and all of that, to get the whole awareness going. Now, after you get this awareness going and you bring people together, you launch it. You're not just launching a business, but you're also paying attention. What you're doing is you have to actually pay attention what's working, what items people kind of like gravitating towards, what are people picking. So that's what you got to pay attention to. Starting, you can kind of like start with a bunch of different items. I don't mind you starting with a bunch of different items. However, you just got to pay attention because at this point we're looking for our winning items. We don't know what's gonna work. So if you someone like me, you're probably gonna throw some caps in there, some tote bags in there, some t-shirts, some jackets, some hoodies, some buttons, anything that you can kind of add value creatively to it, right? You can start with that. And it could be some things that you've been, that you have in your mind all along that nobody knows about it, that can become a product moving forward, right? So you can bring any kind of items that you've been playing with or that you have in mind that, kind of like playing with the whole idea of you think this can work in business. Initially, it's cool. Bring it to the lunch and let the people decide, right? So what I would say is like, let the street decide. And they will let you know what they like and what they don't like. So once you do the lunch, you pay attention to what items people were buying, what items people were not buying. You can't get personal. This is not emotional. You don't get married to any of the items. You don't get married to a product. What you're paying attention to is what's moving, right? So this is where you start to kind of like collect your own data, like, oh, this is working, this item is working, this character is working, this kind of style is working, this kind of vibes is working, this kind of ideation is kind of moving. So what we're doing is we're working towards coming up with a dominant product, followed by subdominant product, and also followed by subordinate product. So it's kind of like your ABC or your 1, 2, 3, right? And that's what we're working towards. If you're able to work towards that and find your winning product, your A, your B, your C, or your dominant, your subdominant, and your subordinate, that's when you work that and slowly bring that on to building a website. So by the time you get to the website, you already have a product that's been some kind of what you would say like a proven concept. The concept has been proven from the street or from the launch, right? So once you have that going online, you already have a confidence that you can definitely bring it on to your website. Meanwhile, social media can also help. Now, this idea here it has a social media involved, but this is more of a practical, getting your hands wet, getting your feet, getting your hands dirty and getting your feet wet type of approach. This approach is more of a practical, like you have to really, really be hands-on. You have to really, really go to the people. So my approach is going to the people. That's how I was able to stay in business, right? So first you launch and you try with a bunch of different products just to pay attention to what's winning. And the goal is to try to pick our dominant, subdominant, and subordinate. So that's the goal. Once we got that covered, it never kind of end, right? It's kind of like trying different creative items. So you're gonna keep trying. You're gonna keep trying till you find out what's working, and then you move it here. Whatever's working, you move it here. So finally, if you want to have about 10 items on your website, that's what I would recommend you do to kind of build up those products. That's how you pick those products to become part of the website, the items. So you don't just pick up any old item, right? Let the customers guide you and direct you what you should be selling, what they want. And so this is what you should be displaying to them to buy. And on to the next. It's not sexy at all. This is definitely not romantic. But I guarantee you, if you ask me, this is the best way to go. The best way to go is actually go to the streets. So anywhere you live, there's always going to be a street or a boulevard or main street somewhere where on the weekends there's a buzz going on. People come out. Most of the time, people who work 9 to 5, they have a Saturday, Sundays off. So they walk the street. They come out there. They go out to eat. They go out to restaurants and so on and so forth. This is your moment. You bring your stuff out in those main streets slowly. Not just right away. You can, before you even do that, you could just walk the street and start paying attention to what is going on in the street. If you see somebody who's vending and selling stuff, any creative person, any artist, any designer doing their own thing on a corner of the street, stop by, talk to them, get some information, ask them how long they've been doing it, what is it like, what are people buying, what are some of their winning items, like what are some of their dominant, subdominant, and subordinate items that kind of like working for them. Get some information, not just them, but maybe a couple of other creatives down the streets. So walk the streets, and kind of like absorb this energy of, okay, how do you do it? Now, with this game, you can't. The name of the game is called No Shame in Making Money. You can't have a pride if you want to sell in the streets. To sell in the street, you got to put all those pride. You got to put everything on the side, and you just got to go and be a creative person, be an artist, and just sell and make money, and that's going to help you stay in business. I've been there. For 9 years, I'm still in the street. I still sell in the street. Selling in the street have kept me in business. Selling in the street has helped me done so much better than my social media and my website and all the other social platforms combined. I tell you that. That's a promise. So going to the street and selling in the street can be very shaky. Like, I don't know what step to take. It can be very hard, but I guarantee you, if you're able to put everything on the side and finally just take that step, but, take a baby steps, take your time, go out to the street that you think you want to kind of like do your thing on, just go scout, go catch some vibes with the people who are doing their thing, selling, and so on and so forth. And talk to them, see what they're doing, see what they're selling, and pay attention to what others are selling, down up and down the streets, and just catch some vibration and start paying attention to some of the corners where you can kind of like, yo, maybe I can put stuff in this corner, or I can put stuff in that corner, and start doing my thing. Weekends, I'm not gonna say go 7 days a week. Go 2 days a week, just the weekends. And even if you can just go on the Saturdays, start with Saturdays and see how it goes, right? And don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job. I still got my day job. And I'm thankful, I still got my day job. I'm still doing my art. I still got my website, everything. I'm not gonna say but I kind of figured it out. So it's working. For 9 years, it's been working. It didn't just happen. It happened kind of by accident and by trying and error, right? By trying with some minimum viable products here and there, and figuring out, oh, this is working. And it's gonna surprise you. Hey, if you love giving a gift that's hand painted with love to a friend, a family member, a loved one, or even to yourself, I have hand painted over 10,000 aprons right here in my living room studio. These aprons are not just for cooking, creating, or even painting. They are a form of therapy, a transformational tool for survival, and a reminder that you are a creator. This is imperfect ideation. This is an art that you can live in. This is not a purchase. It's an investment in your own creativity. Hit the link below and grab your transformational apron. Now let's get back to work. What you don't see is what you get. And that's exactly in business what happened most of the time. What you don't see is what you get. So this is what's going to happen. Your favorite items might not make it to your website. Your favorite items might not going to be the one that the customer is going to be gravitating or people going to be buying, right? The items that you might not see, or maybe the design or the idea that you came up with that you're not really sure, but you just throw it out there, that is might be the one that's going to take off, right? And if that starts to take off, your job is not to step in and to resist. Your job is to step in and make it better and put it in front of the people. If the people start to gravitate towards that, push it slowly to them and let that work. Because if that work, then that is going to become your repeatable product, right? Remember this, a repeatable product. You're working towards finally getting a dominant, repeatable product. If you have a dominant, repeatable product, that is something that you're going to sell over and over and over and over and over. So let's just keep that in mind, okay? So that's also something to keep note of. And this is kind of cliche. Everybody say it. But it's in the package, like mindset, right? And I already said that in a way, but the whole mindset is just to know that no shame in making money. You just got to go out and go do your thing. You got to be consistent. You got to be determined, right? Rain or shine, I'm gonna go out there. Even if I'm not able to do both Saturday and Sunday, at least I'm gonna do Saturday. Like that kind of mindset. The mindset of no matter what, I'm gonna go out there. All right. If I go out there and I'm able to sell just one item, it could be a cap, it can be a t-shirt, it can be a tote bag, it can be a button, it can be a zero. You say to yourself, it's cool. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and do it again. Or I'm gonna come back again next week and do it again. Or I'm gonna come back again and do it again and again and again. Because people see you. People are paying attention, right? I was fortunate enough to pick up a collaboration or some kind of a business deal with Pepsi by just selling in the streets. I got hired by Pepsi to do a whole 1 minute ad for Pepsi by just being out in the streets selling my work. So you never know who's passing by. You never know who's in the car driving by to see you, and they're like, "What?" They might just gonna go and just make a U-turn and come back and come talk to you, and they're gonna leave it. You don't know what's gonna happen. People going to be asking you for your number, your social media, your this, your that, your website, a whole bunch of other stuff. You never know what's going to happen after that. Social media is cool. Everybody's doing social media. Everybody's on social media. I'm on there. But what I am telling you is what grabbing my stuff and going outside on the weekends to hustle, to grind, and to sell, what that has done for me, social media hasn't done not even 5% of what I've gained from the streets. Mind you, I've worked with Uber. I've worked with Pepsi. I've done work for Facebook, right? HBO. And this is all from me just being out in the street, just availability, me just being available. And people can see me. I'm visible. I'm in the streets. I got my rack, right? One of these days, I'm gonna display my whole rack, and I'm gonna show you how it's nothing crazy, just a rack in the street, and I'm just in my corner and just standing there. If somebody passing by and they're looking, they're paying attention, I approach them very nicely and then talk to them, right? And then they want to be talked to, and then before you know it, conversation is being had. Now they didn't step outside to say, I'm going to spend money with this artist or this creative or this designer in this corner of the street. No, it's all depend on how, they get there, what kind of vibes you have, whatever it is that you have that's unique, that's different. It's not like what's over there or what's on that side, right? And they stop by, they take a look, and then you step to them, and you talk to them, and they find out, oh, he's super cool. He's a designer, or he's an artist, or he's a creative guy. He makes this, he makes that. And before you know it, just because they've been able to talk to you, right? You touch them in a way that they feel like, wow, you know what, I got to support this local designer, or I got to support this local artist. And that's how people buy. Now, what I'm saying is that it's more likely to happen more in the streets than it is to happen on social media, especially if you are like a 0 to 1 beginner or ABC, a small creative artist, somebody who just want to begin, right? If you just want to get started, and how many followers do you have on social media? Like that kind of engagement don't happen on social media. If you just getting started, your best bet is keep the streets right to your side on a weekend basis while you're still building your social media. Keep your social media going. You can't never count social media out, right? There's going to be somebody who's going to DM you that they want something, and that's also part of it. So everything counts. But what I'm saying is usually people start businesses, right? Especially when it comes to us creatives, artists and designers and so on and so forth. We like to start a business and just go to sleep, right? We just launch it. We talk about it online. We launch it online. We do everything about it online. We post it online, and then that's it. And then we just sitting down waiting for the orders to happen. We're sitting down waiting for the DMs to happen, the phone calls to happen. No, it doesn't happen like that. So as a result, that's why I think a lot of artists and a lot of creators and a lot of creatives and a lot of designers kind of like a struggle, what they call, the starving artist, or the struggling artist, or the broke artist, and so on and so forth. Like that happen when you just want your business to only be successful online, on social media, and so on and so forth. And what I'm saying is, if you are just getting started, if you are in school and you just want to get your creative businesses going while you're still in school, right? When I was in school, I was playing with the idea. I was wearing what I'm selling now. I was making it in the studio, coming outside wearing it. People seeing it like, yo, I like that. I like this. So I was already picking up, like, oh, people like this. And I would ask people, would you buy this? And they would say, yeah. I said, how much would you pay for it? And so I was just doing my homework. So if you were in school, the school offers so much facilities and so much opportunities in the studio. So take advantage of those art studios, right? And just create and just come up with a bunch of different ideas and just try to use that moment, to come up with your whole bunch of ideations and test it out. And you could give it out for free during those times to see what people are going to react to it. If you start to catch some traction, use that to lunch even while you're in school. So I would say the earlier you start, the better, right? I waited till I was out of school to lunch, but I right after school, I started working on my stuff, all right? And right on, I learned that social media is not going to help me stay in business. As soon as I started doing it, I said, no, it's not going to happen. If I go this route with the amount of followers that I have, it's going to be the same old stories, right? If you want to do something different, they say if you want to get something different, you got to do something different. So I cannot continue to do what everybody's been doing and getting the same results and expecting a different result because I'm doing the same thing everybody else is doing. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But I have a pride. So one of my boys, I got a couple of guys that they artists, they sell in the streets. One of my boys be in front of a Metropolitan Museum in New York on Fifth Avenue. He's out there hustling. If he's not there, he's in front of MoMA, or he's in Harlem on 125th Street, right across the street from a Studio Museum of Harlem. So, like, there's no shame in making money. He doesn't have a pride. He out there selling his art, and people love it. People talk to him like, "Yo, are you the artist?" People like, and it's working. But I'm coming from school and I'm looking at it different. Like, in my gut, I wish I could just create it, post it online, and then sell it online without having to, get my feet wet and get my hands dirty. But early on, right after the lunch, I realized that is not going to happen. So what I did, I said, I got to be like my boy, Eric, and just find a way to start to hit the streets. So I have to scout and see where I can post up. And then slowly, the hardest part is that first day that you have to go outside and go give it a shot. Because you never know if you're going to sell, if you're not going to sell. If you don't sell, are you going to be motivated? Are you going to be inspired to come back and do it again? And if you do sell, what you going to do with the money? Are you going to go out there and spend it and wait till the money is finished and then try to go back out again and not knowing if you're going to sell again or not? It's a whole bunch of this stuff going through your head. So, but you need to take that first step. It's going to be very tough. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be very tough, but you have to take that first step. You have to go outside and go push it, right? Just like the other, artists who like do shows and stuff like that, and like art shows and a whole bunch of other stuff that people do. You got to go get your booth and so on and so forth. But this is not that kind of hustle, right? This is you actually taking the whole matter in your own hands, right? This is not an art fair issue. This is you actually not sitting and waiting for anybody to say, oh, there's an art fair going on. Would you like to be a part of it? Yes. And you go join in for a week or 3 days or for the weekend, and then you come back home and then you got a bunch of items sitting there and you're waiting for the next thing. No, this is not that kind of a game. This is the mindset of consistency, determination, rain or shine, grinding, hustle. You just got to go out there. And the beauty about this thing is that the streets give you the customers for free. Like, if you want customers from Facebook, you got to pay for it. But the street gives you to you for free. So, especially on the weekends, everybody and their mama out. People come out. So take advantage of the weekends and come out and just, build your business with the streets, right? Start it with the people and build it with the people and the streets, right? That's what I would tell you to do. That's what I did. And thank God, 9 years in, I'm still going. I am still going and I'm not stopping. I love it. I'm enjoying it, And now I got 9 years of experience to share with you. Like everything that's happened in the past 9 years, what I did to stay in business. And it's nothing crazy. It's not anything mysterious. It's really the consistency. Everything that I'm telling you, that's exactly what I did. And I've been able to stay in business, and it's been super, super beneficial to me. and my career and my life, because not everybody that I know that we came out of school with it is actually like making a living out of their creative work. We all went there to study career and creative, careers, but not everybody, I believe, is living off what they study. So I'm very grateful. I'm very happy that what I went to school to do, I came out, I was able to continue doing it, and it's putting money in my pocket. By way of doing it, I've been fortunate enough to work with, like, who would ever thought? Pepsi came here. Pepsi shot the Pepsi commercial with me in my living room studio right here, in the studio that I'm talking to you, right here. Pepsi, the whole, I will tell you about the Pepsi story soon, but this whole thing happened right here. So, I mean, who would have ever thought? But it came from me just going to the streets and not giving up, constantly going to the streets, weekend in, weekend out, weekend in, weekend out, Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes it'd be raining and I would grab my stuff and be in the corner and checking the weather to see if the rain's gonna stop soon. If rain stop, I'm back outside. We're out here, going, right? If it doesn't happen today, we'll come back tomorrow, right? So that's the mindset. That is the mindset. And I know everybody kind of say the mindset. But for me, the mindset is saying that I'll go back again next week. I got to stay consistent. I'm determined to do this. I'm going to do this. Like, I have been in a position where I didn't have a creative business, where there was no business in place. It was just me just working, right? I've always worked in a restaurant. I've been being an artist and being a student and working in a restaurant. It just complements each other. It just flows. It was the best thing. So for me, one of the greatest things I've done with my life is working in a restaurant, serving tables and studying, creative career and, going to school. And that flexibility allowed me to do so much, right? So that's kind of the mindset. Now let's move on to what channel would you pick? Now, a lot of people would just go straight to saying website or website/social media. I tell you, you are a 0 to 1 creative business person. You just getting started. Slow down on a website for now. Write it down, stick it on your wall or something, but do not rush to spend money to do all your websites and all this other stuff. First of all, you don't even have your dominant product yet. You don't know which one of your product is. Some call it hero, some call it, but I call it dominant, or your repeatable product, or your core product. You don't even know what your core product is yet. So spending money already building a website and doing all this flashy and all this other stuff is really not the way to go. You're going to be wasting a lot of money, right? So you got to hold on to your money. You got to start small. You got to move a step by step, baby steps only. When an item is sold, you got to find a way to hold on to that money for as long as you can, unless that money has to go into more product or more merch, right? Or more inventories to bring back more money. If you're going to do it that way, then absolutely yes. So that money has to just always be thrown back, kind of like a fishing. You got to put that on the hook, fish, throw it out there to go catch more fish. As a beginner, 0 to 1 creative business starter, that is how you kind of approach it, right? So jumping onto the channel of my website, I want it to be like this, I want it to be like that. That is not what I did. That is not what I did. So you got to keep that in mind. Website can cost, nowadays it's a bunch of easy websites that you can start with and that you can subscribe and so on and so forth. But still, I would just say, take your time. Don't rush on that. Don't rush. Hit the streets for a couple of months and figure out what's working. If you're able to find 2 or 3 items that that's working, Then now, by that time you already stack up some money, then you could join. You can build your website. They have the themes and all this templates. It's already it's already built in. You just got to just pick your theme and just throw your items on it. But starting, don't rush, because people's gonna be asking you have a website. Yo, where's your website? They're not gonna jump on the website and buy. You're just gonna be passing out your flyers and your cards. The sales actually is going to be happening more in the streets. When those people that buy from the streets get comfortable with you, when they get to know you, when they get to love you, that's when they comfortable to buy from you on the website. All right. So that person might be, maybe he came from out of town and he's just walking by and he sees it. This is something that he's never going to find in his hometown. And you got something nice going on. He's going to stop, talk to you, buy it. You have his information, or he got your information. Next time he's looking for, he can't find it. Now he can go to the website. So it starts from the streets. This whole thing starts from the streets. So, and excuse me, this whole China thing is what I would say. What channel should you go? I say, yeah, have your social media because it's free, right? You a 0 to 1 business starter. You have to be resourceful. We are creative people. We are artists and designers and makers and so on. One thing we know how to do is to be resourceful. So we've been resourceful our whole life. We know how to stretch, paint, to mix, primary colors and turn it into 6 colors, and then from 6 to, and then it's unlimited. You can mix as many colors as you want. That's called being resourceful. When it comes to running a business or starting our small creative business as well, that is actually when being resourceful is more important, it's more critical. So this is when we need to be more critical and be more resourceful when we have our small business going, and keep our spending like right here. Keep the spending low, right? Keep the income coming in, but keep the spending going down, right? So in order for you to be able to stay in business, until you figured it out, you learn what's working for you, your high margins, your some kind of like, okay, 50-50 and the low margins, all of that. So now you don't mind. All right, let me get that website. All right, if you want to do a Facebook ad, you're on your own, go for it. I do run some Facebook ad every once in a while, right? Yeah, I have a convert kit for my mailing list, because my subscribers is up there, so it's beyond the free, But for you, you have to sign up for the free joint. If you have anything below 1,000 signups or 1,000 email lists, it's free. So why not take advantage of it free? Sign up for it. Anybody who purchases from you, make sure you never lose a customer. It's not, if they buy from you, you do not lose them ever again. You take their first name and the email address and just throw it on there. And then you can reach out to them on the email once a week or twice a month, however you want to do it, right? Just no pressure, but just make sure that all these things, you have to do those things. So you have to adapt to the streets, right? You have to adapt. What's working? What's not working? It's not personal. This is working. All right, we're going with it. This is not working. We're moving. All right. How do people, okay, you're paying attention, right? That's how you adapt. You're paying attention. What's going on? How people talk to you, what they saying they want. Oh, I like this. What? Okay, you're listening. You're collecting data, right? And then you adopt what they're passing to you, what they're telling you they want, If people start giving you money, say, yeah, make me that. All right, and then ship it to me. Do you ship? Even if you don't ship, yes, you ship. This is the moment to ship. Yes, I ship. Yes, all right, boom, 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 boom. Get the information and be honest. Make it and ship it to them. You got them for good. You already have their email address. You send an email, they see, they be the first one to read it and show it to their friends. So that's how you adapt the streets and adopt the streets, right? Adapt by paying attention. All right, take a step here, step back, moving here, now, okay. And then whatever's working, you absorb it, you adopt, like you bring it in, you suck it in, all right? So that's going to help you stay in business. And we're talking, I'm just speaking from being out there, getting your hands dirty and getting your feet wet type of approach. Not just beautiful social media or Instagram look amazing and you're doing Instagram live and all that stuff and posting, but orders is not coming in, right? Orders is not coming in. So, I mean, we can look good on social media, right? We can look good on social media and there's no orders coming in, or we can go out, we can put our pride on the side and hit the streets and then stand there and then hustle and then come home and sell a couple of items and then come home and feel good like, oh, you know what? And guess what? Something they call compound skill. As you go out in the streets all the time, you compound your skill of communicating, how to sell, how to deal with people, and so on and so forth. So, and before you know it, it just comes like this. It's just, everything's like it just comes like this, like like the back of your hand. You got to learn how to communicate, how to sell, how to do all of that. So, and then it's going to compound. As people buying and you making more of what people are buying, guess what? It's also part of that compound skill. You're learning more. Whatever it is that you're making and you're selling, you're learning more. And then you learning the business. You're learning the business, So the 9 years of my experience in business, I cannot tell you, man. I cannot tell you how much I know. Like how much I know. I've accumulated so much information. I've accumulated so much knowledge by just being out in the street and selling for 9 years. I have a friend who's been selling out there, 24, for 21 years now. 21 years. He's been selling out in the street for 21 years. But from a distance, I was looking at it, I was judging it different. Like, I was in school doing my thing. Now I understood why he's still out there selling, because you can actually make money. You can actually make money. And I've been telling him, like, yo, you need your website. He got a website and everything, but guess what? He still make more in the street than the website. So if the websites happen to be making money and to be killing it, yes, amazing. My website does good now. My website is good. My website is good. I have a mailing list. If I send out an email, I'm getting orders comes in. And if I send my weekly email, I get orders. My website does good, but I'm still in the streets because the street does better. Right? If I go out in the street, amount of emails that I collect on a weekly basis, just people coming in. What I'm telling you today, I didn't know this 9 years ago when I started my business. If I had known what I know now, then, man, I think my email list probably would have been over 20,000 people. And this would have been not just like a lead magnet, not like the lead magnet email. This would be like one-on-one people that I've talked to, communicated with. I look at them in the eye and they look at me in the eye and I say, would you please join my email list? And they was like, yes, absolutely. That's their favorite word. Absolutely. And then I give them my phone. I click on it and I give them my phone. They'll put in their first name and their email. Like one brick at a time, collecting email address on a weekend basis. That's what I do. And then on the weekdays, I shoot them an email. They remember me. They know my face, right? And most of my emails I send, I have maybe I'm in the studio and like behind the scenes studio or some kind of shot in the studio. And they remember me. They remember that look. So it built that connection. You know what they say, people only buy from you when they can trust you, or, trust build, purchases and so on and so forth. So just that connection that we had in the street, that trust has been built, and I send them an email and it feels like they know me, right? It feels like they know me. So when Christmas comes, they have no problem saying, yo, I need to buy from this guy, for my Christmas gift and so on and so forth. So that is the game that I'm passing down to you. I didn't know any of these 9 years ago when I started. I was just raw and uncut in the street, just selling, and just social media. I'm still on every single social media that you can think of, but none of them brings me money like the streets. I'm trying to tell you, man. None of them the street is the best. So, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Yeah. And what else? I'm going to talk to you about the customers and the so-called customers and our audience and this whole thing. Being in the street also allows you to put some kind of customer list together, right? You want to call it audience, which is the same thing as your social media following. Now, say if you have 1,000 followers on Instagram, and you versus 1,000 customers or 1,000 prospects that you actually collected from the streets, right? People that talk to you, whether they were able to buy, they have money and they bought right away, or they were interested, but they didn't have the money right away, or they were not in the market to buy from you, but they definitely interested. They like what you're doing. They like you personally, and they rock with what you're doing. They vibe with your whole everything, and they say, "Yeah, I'll give you my email address." Right? You already got them. So imagine having those kind of people, and people who bought, and people who's like, "Yo, I want it, but I just don't have cash right now, or I don't have enough right now, but I definitely will get something. If not now, maybe Christmas, or maybe somebody's birthday coming, or imagine collecting those kind of people's emails, right? Having 1,000 of those people versus your 1,000 followers. Who do you think is going to put more money in your pockets? Who do you think is going to go like this, take the money out of their pocket and put it in your pocket? Right? You think your 1,000 followers on social media, on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or X and so on, versus these people physically right here in the street. Some of them would take a picture with you, like, come on, let's take a picture, and selfies and so on and so forth. You can't, nothing compared to those, right? Now, again, we're not talking about some big 100,000 followers and so on. We're talking about just 0 to 1, a beginner, somebody who's just getting started. How do you just start, and how do you stay in business? So these steps is just a steps that you take to stay in business. Yeah, you can start. Anybody can start a business. You can start a business today. You can start a business tomorrow. Just say, I'm in business. Now, how do you stay in business? How do you stay in business? So practically and tactically, that's what I'm telling you. This is what I was able to do to stay in business for 9 years. And by doing that, other people sees you, and it brings about other opportunities. They say, work gets you more work, right? So if you're working, out of that work, you're gonna get more work. So by me just being in the streets hustling, people see me. Every once in a while they pass by, they see me. This guy, they see me. If that person have some kind of project or something that maybe related to what I'm doing, if they see that it look like a vibe together, guess what? One of these days they might just stop by and just come over here. I see you here all the time. What's up? And then before you know it, they throw in business your way. You understand? So that's how Pepsi happened. That's how Facebook happened. That's how Uber happened. That's how HBO happened. That's how Forbes magazine. I got featured in Forbes magazine because one of the Forbes magazine writers was passing by. He's a journalist for Forbes, and he was passing by and he saw me. And he went, I guess he went to eat or whatever. On his way back, he just couldn't help it. And then he stopped and he talked to me. He didn't say anything about him being a writer or nothing about Forbes, none of that. We just talked, but I still remember that guy and he just, we talked. He was like, hey, maybe I'm not, I don't know, maybe I can feature you. But he didn't say anything, but he just mentioned that maybe he can feature me. He didn't say anything. He took a picture and then he just asked my name and the name of the brand or whatever. And then he just, it wasn't a big deal. He just walked away. Long story short, Forbes magazine. So you never know who's walking by. You never know who's watching. You never know who's going to see you. Social media, it can also happen. But I'm just saying that give yourself a chance. Well, I'm not saying don't do social media, only do the streets. No, I'm saying give yourself a chance, right? Social media, you're going to do that regardless. You're going to be posting, right? You're going to do all of that regardless. But give yourself a chance to hit the streets twice a week or once a week. Social media, you're posting 7 days a week. You know, they're telling us post 3 times a day, post 2 times a day, post this, you got to post more, you got to post on this platform and that and that. As soon as we wake up in the morning, us creatives and the artists and designers and makers and so on and so forth, all we do is just posting content. Yeah. We just post all over the place. So we do that 7 days a week. Come on, you can hit the streets once or twice a week. We can do that. And that's how I look at it, right? That's how I look at it, like we can do that. So going to the streets will help you build customers. You're gonna be able to build a customer list, right? That audience, to me, though, that's the most realistic audience you can rely on, you can depend on. Because this is the audience that bought from you. This is the audience that's gonna come back again and buy from you. There's something called never lose a customer again. Now, this whole concept and the idea of never lose a customer again, it works so much better when you one-on-one, face-to-face, eye-to-eye with that person. They talk to you, they purchase, or they showed interest and did not purchase, and they just agreed to give you their email address. That is the best audience you can ever ask for. I mean, you can't ask for anything more than that. So, but the streets offer that to you for free. The streets offer that to you for free. So go outside, bring your work outside, right? Do the launch. You can start a business today, tomorrow, and starting business is easy. I did it the wrong way, you know. I was just supposed to just start by the product, the items, the merch, the product, whatever. I was doing some documentations. They say LLC. They say I was just spending money in all the wrong places. Don't do that. Don't go LLC, all that stuff. They can wait. Anything, they can all wait, right? You can incorporate your brand. You can incorporate your business. You can do all of that stuff later. Right now, we are on MVP, on minimum viable product. We just want to, and I call that ideation. You know, right now we're on the imperfect ideation journey. The journey that you're going to be on is, I call it imperfect ideation, and that's my tagline. That's how I survive. Like, you know, there's no expectation. So go out there and grab a couple of stuff, try these items, try a couple of categories and see what you can try. That's the ideation. That's the brainstorming. And you go out there and see what's going to bring build some kind of traction. Based on that traction, now you know you have a direction, right? You're gonna figure it out. You know, the proof of concept, what's working. Once you have your proof of concept in your hand, now LLC can come in, the website comes in. You can incorporate, you can do all that stuff. But in the beginning, just be resourceful, be an artist, be a creative, be a designer, and just go for it. Just go out there and just go build it with the people, figure it out. Once slowly but surely you figured it out, now you can do all the other stuff everybody's talking about. Because I think for 0 to 1 beginners, a lot of times people are not telling them what to do. Nobody told me I was doing all the wrong things, spending money in all the wrong places that I wasn't supposed to, right? So I don't think we should be doing that. We should just first start, just start imperfect, right? Start small, start messy, and then collect data out of what you're doing. Slowly but surely, you're gonna learn, right? Now, with all this stuff, you're making all the right business moves because you're creating awareness in the streets. Out of the awareness, you're making sales. That is the bloodline of a business. Like, that is the heart. You know, the heart needs to pump. You just need to pump. And when the cash flow is coming into the business, the heart is pumping. Like, you're doing everything right when you go in this direction, except that you're just not an official like LLC and my website and incorporated and so on and so forth. Like, you know, you're just doing everything right. So by the time you step foot in those places, you already got it covered. You already know what you're doing, right? So you go on the streets, you're going to create awareness. You're going to meet the customers, collect their emails. You have them for good, unless they get to a point and they say, you know what, I'm going to thank you for serving, and I'm going to unsubscribe. You know, every week I send an email, somebody unsubscribe, you know, please, thank you for supporting me. You know, if you get to a point and when you like you graduate that level and you had enough, it's like, okay, boom. That's why I don't really be sending out emails like that. I send email once a week. Once a week, I send emails to my audience. You know, 1 minute read, talk to them, peace. Keep it short and simple, and they keep it moving. You know, if they get to a point where that's something that they don't want to vibe with anymore, you know, I just salute them, no big deal, right? So, but I know that every weekend I'm outside collecting, right? Every weekend I'm outside collecting the emails again. I'm selling, I'm collecting, constantly creating awareness. So it just, you can't, you know, it's the best. I don't think that really happened on Instagram like that or social media like that. Like selling, creating awareness, and collecting emails, like potential customers' emails. I really don't think we have that. I don't have that on my social medias, and I'm on all the platforms. That is not happening. But in the streets, I sell, I collect emails, and I create awareness at the same time, right? New people find me all the time in the street, and it's free. The street offer that to me for free. So I'm telling you to also put that on your list, right? Going outside and going to the street is not just going to sell, but you also build a customer list from outside. You also create awareness from being outside, and you also sell your product, your items, your merch, whatever you want to call it, from being outside, right? Okay. Because when those guys, when they come and they buy, it's like, yo, you buy once, you're gonna always buy because I got you. Once they buy, you got an email list, right? Once they buy, you take the email and put them on your list, and now you're always connected to them, right? Because imagine, think about it. They said Instagram only showing like 5 to 10% of your followers, right? So if Instagram is only showing 5 to 10% of your followers, whatever it is that you post, you think we can, as 0 to 1 creatives that's trying to start a business, you think this is something that we can actually build a business on? And you only have like 500 followers, 800 followers, 1,200 followers. And Instagram is only going to show 5 to 10% of your followers, whatever it is that you posted. And we think we can build a business of that? No, that's not going to happen. And all these guys will come out and tell you, they try to sell you shovels, and they tell you, oh, the reason you're not successful, the reason your creative business is not doing this because your website is this, your website is that, because on your Instagram is this. No. You can go spend all the money with those guys, and they can rebuild your website and tell you this should be your core product, your hero, or this, the website should be, this is the dominant, and you should do it like this, like that. The website still need people, traffic. If traffic don't flow through the website, you're not gonna get sales. How do you get traffic to your website? When you're just beginner, you don't have the money. In order for you to get that kind of traffic, you have to pay Facebook, or you have to pay whoever, any social platform. You have to pay them in order for them to bring that traffic to you. So that also costs money. And what I'm saying is, you can get these traffics from the street for free as a beginner. Not when you become like a real small medium business. When you become a small medium business, by that time you have a plan, and you got it going. You might have a budget for that, and so on and so forth. You could be able to do it. But 0 to 1. You're just getting started. How do you stay in business? How do you survive your first 3 months in business? How do you survive your first 6 months? How do you survive your first year? I have survived 9 years. How do you do that? By not spending money like that, right? Because if your website is not getting that kind of traffic, and if you want those kind of traffic, you have to pay for it. What do? You're going to end up spending all your money trying to chase some traffic, and you might end up not having a business in the year or two. So if the street is going to keep you in business, surviving, you're going to find traffic is traffic. It doesn't really matter. Traffic is traffic. So if you can get it here for free, and that's going to help you stay in business, then get it here for free and stay in business over going to get it here, paid traffic, and your finances is like, whatever money you make here, you have to go give it to them, right? Your goal is to have people take money out of their pocket and put it in your pocket, not you doing the opposite, Of course, we all have to spend, but the money has to circulate. We all have to spend somewhere, somehow. But you are starting a small creative business. Your goal is to be resourceful. Your goal is to have businesses coming in, right? Your goal is to pay attention be very careful how you spend money, right? You always have two options. You can get the traffic from the street. You can get the audience from the streets. You can build your email list from the streets. Why go pay for it? There's no shame in making money. So go out there, put the pride on the side and go outside and go hustle it. One item at a time. You sell 1 item, 2 items at a time. 1 item, 2 items, 3 items. Before you know it, you go out in the street and you come home like, yo, I can't believe I made so much money. Sometimes you come home and you're not gonna believe it, but that's the nature of business, right? I'm in business now, and I came from a position where I was not in business. If you ask me to pick one, I'm gonna go with this. I'm being in business. Being in business makes me so happy. Being in business makes me so relevant. Being in business keep my energy flowing. I'm motivated. I'm inspired. I feel happy, right? So if I have to choose between when I wasn't in business and now that I am in business, these two, I'm going with this, being in business. So being in business can be very beneficial to you. Being in business is absolutely amazing. I love it. So if you are a creative person, whether you're in school, you're about to finish, you already finished, or you were self-taught, however you coming from it, whatever angle you want, I'm telling you, being in business is amazing. So get started. And if it's amazing, does it really matter what you do to survive as long as you're not committing any crime? If you have to go outside and be in the street in order to keep your business going, to have some kind of traction, so you can kind of build on that traction to the next level, why wouldn't you do it? So I am all for that, right? I endorse that. I'm just saying we should go in that direction. Spend less, spend less, spend less. Make more, make more, make more. So we can continue to build the business, right? If you make more, then sooner or later we'll be able to attack that website. Sooner or later we'll be able to get that LLC. Sooner or later we'll be able to, if we have to do incorporation, whatever. And sooner or later we'll be able to, I'm going to talk about that maybe in the next video. Now, this is like the messy approach, the ideation, the MVP, minimum viable product, you're just going all in. But then sooner or later, you just have to start organize. Once you start to find your core products, right? Once your core products start to say, hey, I'm a core product. You see how people buying me, how they keep buying me over and over? Now you know. And slowly but surely, you take those core products and you turn them into a packaged product. And I'm going to talk about that too, moving forward. Different between just ideation merch or just the regular merchandise that you just push in versus actually packaged product, right? So that is something that we're going to talk about soon. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you pay attention. You like and comment and let me know if you getting started. What level are you? Are you 0 to 1? Are you already high over there? You already know everything that I'm talking about. If not, then pay attention and take some notes and try it, give it a shot. I'm urging you to give it a shot. If you're 0 to 1, ABC 1, 2, 3, this kind of level, if you're on this level, then you have a best chance of staying in business if you do what I'm telling you to do. Your best shot, you got to go outside. You got to build with the public. You got to build with outside. And that's what I did for 9 years. And I'm so forever grateful for doing that. Now, once you have all this going, a winning product start to show themselves like, yo, I am a winning product. I'm a winning product. And those winning product is something that you're going to build on. That's what's going to keep you in business, right? That's what's going to keep you in business moving forward. Because those products, they sell themselves. You don't have to do much, right? They sell themselves. These are products that actually sell themselves. So you go from that to winning products, and now it starts to get easier and easier. Your winning products makes your life easier, but you got to do you got to do the dirt. You got to get in the dirt, in the mess, in the mud, right? You got to get your hands dirty, and then before you know it, winning products are slowly coming out. What I call your dominant products, and then before you know, you have your subdominant, and then your subordinate products. And then slowly but surely, you're going to have at least your 3 key products, your dominant, subdominant, subordinate. And those going to be printing you money, right? It's going to make it a little bit easier for you. In the meantime, you're still going to keep the grind going. You're still going to figure out what are some of the things that's working. If they work, and then you pull them here, and then right? At this point, you have your website and stuff going. Then down the line, you can kind of start playing with some Facebook ad, Facebook, Instagram ad, and stuff like that. And that is what's going to keep your business going, right? Those are some of the games that I play to stay in business. And being in business, you don't even know who you're going to come across. People are watching, people are seeing you, people are hearing from you. And in between that, you might get some DM, a nice DM on your social media. Somebody want to collaborate with you. Somebody want to do something with you. I have a couple of art supplies that reach out to me, via DM and so on and so forth. So all those things happen. So of course you have to have social media. I am all for being on all those platforms, like being available. Availability just makes it easy for you to make money. When people are looking for you, it's easy for them to find you. So be available, but more importantly, be available outside in the streets and try to like sell and make money, because sales keep your business going. You need sales, you need money for the business to survive. And to make sure that you play the long game. This thing, I've been in it for 9 years without even seeing it. It doesn't even look like it's been 9 years already, but it's 9 years. So you have to play the long game, right? You go in there, there's no, I wish it's over. When is it going to be over? You got it, it's all comes with that whole mindset that I'm talking about, right? So get that out of the way and just stay in there and stay in there and stay in there. Your goal is to survive. Like I'm telling you, I came from a position where I didn't have a creative business, to me turning my living room into my art studio. My whole living room, this is my living room, I turned it into an art studio. And that's my headquarters, right? This became the office for everything for the business. And if you ask me, I would never turn this back around into what it used to be before. No, I'd rather leave it like this. This is I enjoy having the business way over not having the business. Having business is amazing. So creatives, I'm telling you, start your creative small business, but start small. Start small and move baby steps, one break at a time, right? And keep the long game mindset, It's not to be played for a year or two. I've been in for 9 years. It doesn't even seem like it's been 9 years already. And I don't see myself stopping. I think I'm going to keep going until that kingdom come. You know, so so let's go. If you've been with me until all the way till now, thank you so much. I appreciate you sticking around. I hope you subscribe. I hope you like. I hope you comment. If you can join my mailing list as well, and just so you will kind of like have an idea. You know, sometimes it's not necessarily to buy. Like, I'm not expecting you to make a purchase or anything, but just so you see, you also kind of learn. You can also learn from me, like, oh, okay, he posts, he sent out an email. This is what the email is saying. Oh, this is kind of like the vibe of the email, just so it kind of gives you some idea. So, you know, we're here to learn from each other. We're here to teach. We're here to be taught. We're here to inspire. We're here to be inspired. We're here to motivate. We're here to be motivated. Like, I'm a student of the game. I am a student of an artist. I'm a student of art. I love art, and I teach. I was teaching 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. Again, from the street. I was just in the street, and you know, somebody came to me and said, "Would you be interested in teaching?" I love what you're doing. I'm gonna go talk to my principal. And then before, you know, the principal's giving me a call, and I'm going to the school. They're giving me a tour. It's like, oh, the kids are going crazy, and I'm going there and I'm teaching. You know, so I'm telling you, man, the things that can happen with just being outside and just doing your thing, it has no limits. So take advantage if you may. Yes, thank you so much. Subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Salute.